with the world fades to black. Watching the wicked slip through the cracks. Call out to God, but he's not calling back. Setting the motion to watch the collapse. Laughing, living in your coffin. How could you be so heartless? Twisted up and godless. I'm not ashamed of the blood on my hands, but I still wrestle with the fear that no one will understand. I stare inside a black heart, filthy with sand. I'd gladly be a martyr for the innocent. I am the revenge. You can be saved when you're kneeling to pray. Cover your hands and you can't wash away. Cry out to God, but he's looking away. This justice must be right. Maggots crawling through your casket. A special place in hell for your masochistic actions. Light a cigarette, put it to your lips. I'm not ashamed of the blood on my hands, but I still wrestle with the fear that no one will understand. I stare inside a black heart, filthy with sand. I'd gladly be a martyr for the innocent. I am the revenge.
Hello and welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug Sashery, and again to my left,
This time, Rob Mendiola.
hey Rob.
I'm back on the blue couch.
That's right. No in-house guest this time.
No in-house. Yeah.
Okay.
We got somebody on the phone now.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and go right to it,
Let's
man.
just
We'll,
do it,
we'll
man.
cut the small chat. Yeah, we're talking today from A Killer's Confession. We're talking to JP Cross. How you doing, JP?
What is up, guys? I am good.
Yeah, we need. I really want Rob to start adding in cheers and drops into the system, but he hadn't. He as good as he
They're
is
on
with
there,
the-
man. You just got to push the
Yeah,
buttons.
you just got to push the buttons to do it. But yeah, and also besides that,
You know,
go ahead.
with my podcast, I edit everything, and I still don't put that stuff in.
Yeah, it's like some extra cheese on it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I try to just keep it raw, you know.
I was going to mention also that JP has a podcast called Sin and Nerds, and it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. In fact, I sent it to my son who's in film school, and now we talked about this a little bit before. My son is a film snob. If I even look at my phone during a movie, yeah,
he's
he
gonna lose
gets
his shit.
upset. Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, God, yeah, and I'm not like that, but I do take it personally when there's a movie that I love, and then somebody S's all over it. And when they reviewed Event Horizon, and JP just wasn't. He wasn't one hundo on it like I was. I was
Yeah.
like, God damn it! But no, you didn't like the.
The special effects don't hold up. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not that the film is bad. I've always enjoyed Event Horizon, but when you look back on Event Horizon in 2024 when it came out, and what was that, 1999, or it was late 90s or early 2000s, I think, when that movie came out. But you look at the special effects, and it was those early CGI special effects, and
Yeah.
they were just horrible. They
When you
just
see
do
them now,
not
they're
hold up.
horrible, Yeah.
Yeah,
When we saw them back then, it was like, oh my God, wow.
Yeah, and I love the story. I mean, because to me, it's like, I've mentioned before that anything that Netflix has ever done themselves, The Haunting of Hill House, is by far, in my opinion, which I think y'all should review one day. It is by far the best, and the reason why is because, much like they did in Hill House, they made the ship. The ship has its own story. So, like, if you have a vessel like that, I think, or something, a house or something, I think you can build a good story usually around it.
So let's get back to where JP does their own podcast then.
He does his own podcast.
And what's it called, man?
It's called Sin and Nerds.
Sin and Nerds? Oh, okay. I think I did know that.
CIN. Is it CINE or CINI?
Yes. CINE.
Nerds.
Nerds.
It is fantastic. He does it with two other
Cool.
guys, right?
Yeah, it's my guitar player James does it sometimes. He's kind of part time at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
Uh, the first roughly, I think probably roughly our first 28 episodes he was on, and now things have just got so busy with our touring schedule that he's kind of backing out of it on some. So like there's a lot of episodes it's just me and our other co-host, which is a guy named Ryan Newhouse, who is the general manager of one of the main venues here in Cleveland, Ohio. So I don't want to name drop the venue because he never name drops the venue, but it's one of the bigger venues in Cleveland.
Yeah, no way that you would hook up with people that you've met on the road, huh? Yeah, that works out perfect, man.
Yeah, it's a big commitment to do these, podcasts.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what James kind of realized once we got about 10 episodes in. He was like, "Man, this is taking a lot of time," and I'm
Yeah.
like, do you imagine how much time it takes me? Because not only we do audio,
Right.
we do video. We do video and audio. And so whenever we do episodes, I'm the one that edits all of it. I'm the
Yeah.
one that does, I edit the audio, then I put the audio with the video, and then
Yeah.
I edit the video. And it can take me all day between
yeah.
editing one episode and converting the video files
Yep.
and then uploading. I mean, it can turn into a 12-hour process
Yep.
per episode. And I told them that, and they're like, "Oh, I just don't have time for that." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, that's why I'm doing it."
Yeah.
Doug's been trying to transition into the video, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out on that.
Well, what we're gonna do is see, and Rob will come. Rob, it's so funny. I can't tell you how many times like the studio's at his house, so it's about a 50-minute
Yeah.
drive, and I'll drive out, and I usually basically pull him off the couch when he's working, and then as soon as we get done, he races back to work because
Yeah.
he works in geoscience, with a lot of geology.
It's the investment banking world, and it's crazy.
and it's nonstop. Apparently they don't know that that
I was working before you got here today.
Yeah, there's no time clock. He works. The minute he got out the hospital, there was work waiting for him to go do. So, but yeah, he does that. But like a lot of podcasts do, a lot of them will have a chart. So my plan is to do, and I've got the first one is, and we'll do them on Teams or, like the other one we did where everybody was, Secret of Boris was all in house the other day at my house. But we'll do, we'll do a somewhere 10 to 20 minute short, and it'll just be a catch up. A lot of times it'll be people we talked to before, and we'll catch up. But sometimes it's going to be new stuff, and then a lot of locals. It won't take that long to do those podcasts. So that's so I think
we were recording 2 episodes last night, Ryan and I was doing the math on it and counting, and our podcast is new. I mean, we started, I think it was December 14th of this past year was our first episode, so we're not even a full year in, and I was counting as we were recording the episode. I was like, I said, by the time this episode right here comes out that we're on, this is like it's like our 41st episode. And I was like, that's a lot of episodes.
It is.
between
December and August.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we started in March last year, and we took 1 week off,
Yeah.
and then everything on every provider it says season 2 now. Since we took 1 week off, and then but usually because when I saw but with my travel, we usually try to have X amount of episodes in the can, especially if I'm going to be traveling, and because we never know how that's gonna turn out, But
We've done some from the road too, where you call in.
yeah, I have. I've been up in Upper Michigan. I think I called in before. Yeah, so
That's how we've been doing, especially with our touring schedule since May of this year. Because James and I have pretty much been on the road off and on since March, but heavy since May, and so we just kind of have recorded, and I have edited every waking minute that I've had that I've been home, and just pre-uploaded stuff and walked away from it because we've just been so busy on the road that, and the thing is when we're on the road, I would bring my mics and computer and interface, but we never know what kind of internet connection we're going to have.
Right.
And we never know if we're going to have time. We never know if we're going to have time,
Yeah.
we may be on stage at our normal, time that we air. So it's like, we just try to, like you said, we just try to put have a bunch pre-done, so that it's
kind of on the shelf.
It's just ready to go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, then I because I'm working with the music influencers for our company now. I'm also working with started working with gaming influencers. So I've been a gamer forever. I mean, since the first Atari, and I did my setup because I want to interact with some of the ones that I interact with now, and so I set up my streaming stuff. You talk about this stuff hard to set up. Oh, it's my complex. God, man! The gaming streaming setup it's
crazy.
It's insane. And I'm going through a I'm going through a Roadcaster, and I just got everything set up. But the only thing, because I'm doing food as well in mine, so they'll be out whatever, gamers. I'm trying to do some quick meals and stuff, some quick snack stuff that they can do, and even got a different air fryer compared to cooking on the stove, which some stuff I'll still do, but a lot of stuff's gonna be air fryer that they can pop in real quick. But yeah, now I just told Rob that, man, I'm gonna get another monitor and put it behind me so the camera can see that, but I want him to pull it off my YouTube page, which I'll have some kind of media for that. But I'm also going to roll that video in the background. So man, it's a conundrum of things being put together, man.
Yeah.
My son, thank God, like I said, he's almost done with film school, so he's come over and helped me with some of my kitchen stuff that before I film there, because that'll start looking a lot more professional now that he's involved. And yeah, it's a work trying to do other work, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been the thing, because in my studio, I moved my studio once we started doing the podcast, and I was like, well, we're going to paint down here, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we've still not done any of it.
Yeah.
Because I've been gone so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a job. Yeah, Laura said she wants to get me for Christmas, she said, because she knows I hate gifts, but I do like this idea. She's going to get me a resin table, and then do the Xbox, the green, that color coming out of it. So it should look pretty cool, but we shall see. But I got it. Yeah, I put a big drum head of our podcast on the wall. So she did that yesterday. I just came in from Drum Art, and they did a great job. And then Kevin Zink, I'm sure you know who that is.
Yes.
And talked to Kevin quite a bit, but yeah, one of his picks, I said, my wife has the idea, and we dropped it off in Dallas last week. One of his picks, and she's gonna have it blown up by this artist, and we're gonna mount that to the wall, and it's gonna be a big wood or metal chip. I think it's a wood chip, and it'll be up on my wall as well. So, kind of dressing that room out a little bit, yeah. But yeah. Back to a killer's confession.
Killer's confession.
Yeah, I ran into JP when they were touring with Drowning Pool, and we were in Tulsa. And
but a killer confession is where?
Tulsa. That's where they were playing with them. They were.
But where are they out of?
Oh, they're out of.
Oh, we're based out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, the whole band.
The band is, but not everybody lives here.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. JP's voice.
I hear that a lot.
JP's voice, and it took me a second to realize it, but JP's voice is based out of North Carolina.
Yeah.
You can pick up that that
I hear
accent. Yeah.
For sure.
'Cause he sounds a lot like my Far East Tennessee friends do.
Yeah.
So
I like the way he talks.
Yeah. They got. But anyhow, I ran into them, and they were taking everything off stage.
Yeah.
And because I was coming back and forth from the bus, and this guy comes off, and I'm looking for JP because I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
My wife does. I have no clue.
Yeah.
And this guy comes out with the most, he looks like he's about to throw up, but his face looks like just contorted. Well, I ended up coming back outside again. I said, which one is JP? And the guy points at that guy, and the guy sitting on a stool on a guitar throne, I think. I mean, on the drum throne, it might have been. But it was JP.
Yeah.
Apparently, at the beginning of the show, the first song, he jumped it and twisted his back. How's your back doing, by the way?
Yeah. It's getting better. I mean, I'm still actually having a hard time, but I've got a lot of mobility back. But honestly, so I had 2 shows left after that on that tour.
Yep.
So luckily it was the end of the tour. But I was hurting that night. But the next night, it was horrible. I couldn't walk.
Did you do?
And I was hobbling around and had to hold something just to walk. Like that's how bad I was.
Oh,
and
did you take any of the advice that I gave you?
Well, what I ended up doing was I laid on the floor and pushed my feet against the wall, and like had my knees up to my chest and pushed against the wall like that, and I felt something in my lower back move. And when that happened, it moved like in the right direction, and I got up, and I could actually walk at that point.
That's cool.
Well, by the time it was time to get back on stage, it had moved again, and I could barely walk again.
That's the worst pain.
And I couldn't even put my guitar on. James had to put my guitar on me, and like as soon as the weight hit my shoulders, I screamed backstage.
God.
And yeah, it was bad. Like I don't know, that show I got maneuvered out, and I stood next to the drums, and Waylon and James kind of took control of the front of the stage because I couldn't move. I could not move. And
it's incredible.
Then the night after that, we had one more show after that, and I felt stuff move down there again, kind of in the right direction, and I hurt bad. And luckily it was a small stage that there wasn't no room to move. So I just kind of stood in one place, at the front of the stage and made it look good, but, when I got home, that last show was in, I think it was in Nebraska.
Yeah.
Was where the last show was. And we drove home. I got home and I slept that night, that Saturday night. I got home, went to sleep. I got up Sunday morning and went straight to urgent care.
And see, but have you tried the ice bath at any?
Not the ice bath, but I have been using ice packs on my back.
I'm telling you now, look, it takes some ice now. It takes like a good 60 to 80 pounds of ice, or you can go get a cold soak anywhere, but it immediately numbs it down. It reminded me once when I was it was a stupid mistake I made, but I mean, one of several. But when I was in college playing, and I had thrown my back, I had a ruptured disc before, and my back has been hurting me recently. It's getting better now, but I think I did a turnaround jump shot, and I threw it out, and don't try this at home, kids. So my neighbor, one of my roommates, we all worked at Domino's, and he cut his hand on a Coke bottle, it broke or something. And he split his hand open. He had to go to the doctor to get stitches, and he got a Lortab prescription. Well, I have never in my life been a pill taker, but my back was killing me so bad. He said, "Man, take this." So I did, but then after the fact, he told me he only took a half. I could feel nothing in my body except a little pressure, but no pain whatsoever when I took that. And I was like, man, that was the worst decision ever I made. That was early on in my life. I made several.
Muscle relaxer is the only thing that's ever worked for me.
Yeah, but that was like that. The ice bath is just like that as far as, man, it eliminates it. The cold plunge, whatever you want to call it. It takes it right out. I love it. In fact, my hot tub is great during the winter because I just don't have to turn the heat on, and it's perfect. Yeah. But not during the summer.
Well, when I went to urgent care, they sent me for X-rays and whatnot, but they ended up giving me a shot in my back, and it helped a little bit that evening. And she gave me some muscle relaxers and a steroid, and muscle relaxers have never helped me. And I didn't. I think I took one muscle relaxer and I was like, oh, yeah, this is useless, and I didn't take any more. But she actually offered to give me some pain pills, and the last time I did this was about 15 years ago, and that's what the doctor would give me was really good pain pills. And so I'd actually told her, I said, no, I don't want any pain pills. I said, I probably need them, but
Yeah, I just don't like anything that
I don't.
controls how I feel.
Well, and that's it, because when they put me on them 15 years ago, I liked those pills
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people
so
do.
I just,
that's not good in your profession, man.
yeah. And so, like, when she said, oh, I can give you this, I was like, no, I'd just rather be in pain. I don't want them. And she was like, looked at me funny, and I was like, I like them too good. She goes, that's really good that you actually realize that. I said, well, yeah. I was like, I don't want them. I said, I don't need them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm feeling a bit better now. I'm still hurting, but I've got pretty much all my mobility back.
Well,
So
you know how you got that? You felt knees up is really important too. But I would also, like I said, that if you go to Massage Envy or any place that offers a stretch, not the massage is great, but the 30-minute stretch, man, because it's your legs and everything else that are pulling down on that back, and once that loosens up, man, it makes it so much easier. Man, I love the 30-minute stretch.
He just needs to switch to playing guitar, man.
The bass is a little.
Basses are heavy as shit.
Heavy as shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only 4 strings. You would think it's
Man,
lighter.
they're so heavy. Yeah. I don't know how anybody plays a whole set with one of those.
Good Lord, man. Yeah, but they so let me ask you this, man. Were you in the band since its conception, or did you join along the way?
I am the only bass player that's ever been with AKC, but
Cool.
The band was formed in October 2016, and I didn't come in until January of 2017. But what had happened was Waylon had hired a bass player, and I was playing guitar for another band at the time. And the bass player he hired never played with him, never rehearsed with him, never played a show with him. And they were still working on the first album. And he hired the guy, and then it was like immediately, not long after, he was already, like I said, he hadn't even met the guy. He kind of hired him over the internet, and he had never met him. They'd never rehearsed, and they had never played a show together. And he fired him before he even hit the first note.
It happens.
And if that says anything.
Yeah.
And
Music business.
so Waylon was telling, I just happened to call Waylon while he was in the studio doing some vocals for that first album, and he's like, yeah, I just fired this guy, hired him, and I've just already fired him. And he's like, I've got to find a new bass player. And I was like, I'll play bass for you. And he's like, really? He's like, you're going to step back from playing guitar to play bass? I was like, sure, why not? You going to keep me on the road? He's like, I'm going to try to. I said, well, yeah, sure. Let's fucking do this.
Oh, yeah.
So technically, I am the original bass player. I'm the only bass player that's ever played with the band. He technically officially hired me in, I think it was late November or early December of 2016, but I wasn't announced until like January of 2017. But yeah, I am the original.
Yeah, man, cool. Y'all are getting a good little following, man. Y'all have picked up, and y'all are getting ready to do the gathering of the Juggalos. That's what it's called, I believe.
Yeah, that is. We played this Friday, actually. That's already snuck up on me. I didn't even realize it was this weekend until I was like looking at my schedule, and I was like, oh, that's this weekend.
This weekend. Where at?
It's in someplace in Ohio. Yeah, it's,
okay.
I can't even remember where it's at. But it's someplace in the middle of nowhere, Ohio. It's ICP's or Insane Clown Posse's festival they do every year, and it is in Legend Valley, Ohio. I had to look it up. But Insane Clown Posse does this 4 or 5 day festival every year. It's a huge, massive
it's crazy
thing. Yeah, this is the 24th gathering of the Juggalos festival. So yeah, it's
now let me ask you, does the other guy come back? I know the one guy was still active, but does the other one come back and played any?
I know that Violent J, to my knowledge, he's done some shows, but they don't tour anymore because he's had
health issues, right? Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, he's had heart issues or something, and I'm not sure if they're even playing. They may just be appearing at this festival. But I mean, the lineup's not bad. I mean, Static X is playing. Kim Dracula's playing there. Vended, which is Corey Taylor's son's band, he's playing. Then there's a lot of the typical Juggalo bands that are playing. So I mean, the lineup's pretty solid. They have a movie tent, which I'm actually really interested in. And I've already looked at the lineup of movies. They're showing some pretty good movies in their movie tent. So I may sneak off and go to the movie tent and hang out and watch movies.
Nice job, dude. You really are a cine nerd.
They don't do that in Texas.
Yeah.
You'll cook out here.
Yeah, you'll cook out here in the tent. But you know what? When that's what I was saying. When we were in Pennsylvania,
we were cooking in Pennsylvania
we were cooking in Pennsylvania. It was hot all over, man.
It was Texas hot in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that's right.
Which blows my mind.
Yeah, that was. In fact, were y'all? Y'all were. No, they weren't. They weren't at Gettysburg, but y'all were touring with Dry and Pull then already. Yeah, y'all were.
Yes, we wasn't. We didn't do that. I think that was some kind of festival date, wasn't it?
Yes, it
or
was.
Something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Drowning Pool, they even asked us, why didn't they add you to this? And we're like, we don't know, but they didn't add us to it. So like we played Pittsburgh, they went to Gettysburg, and then we went home for a day, and then we met back up with them in Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely did some traveling. Yeah.
North to south.
And we were just in Texas with El Nino. We did like 5 or 6 dates in Texas, like a month and a half ago.
I'm surprised. I am very surprised that my wife let y'all pass through and we didn't go.
Yeah, I saw
El
Nino.
Yeah. Because we played. I think it was El Paso, Lubbock, Dallas, Houston, Corpus Christi, and I think Austin, or Houston. No, we played Houston. Austin or San Antonio won.
Yeah, usually every time, usually when El Nino comes through, I see them as well because some of those guys are friends, and the guy that does all that setup and stuff is a young guy that his dad's a photographer in Dallas for years. I've known him, and I usually don't miss. In fact, he usually stays at our house, but I didn't hear. I don't know if I heard from him this time or not, but yeah. You ever notice the guitar that guy has on you ever see how thin that thing is on for El Nino, their guitars? He has a thin guitar, man.
Is it like my blue one?
Well, the thing is, this tour, Mark Rizzo is back.
Yeah, he was back. That was him. He has his own.
Yeah, but also their other guitar player, and I can't remember his name. He did not do this tour because I'm not sure. I didn't ask, but he wasn't there. And Jess from Sons of Texas was on that tour playing guitar.
Okay, because I want to say is Rizzo the one? Yeah, because he's from New Jersey or whatever. Yeah, with that name, that's I think.
Yeah.
I think he has his own guitar line. Yeah, they did this it's a little thin ass guitar, but man, it was badass. But
Rizzo, I think, plays those what are they? The diamond guitars. I think that's what he's been playing.
Is that the Schecter?
Not the Schecter.
Oh, not the Diamond Series.
No, it's not the Schecter. It's I want to call. I think the company's called Diamond.
Huh. I've never heard that.
Is what and I'm probably wrong, but I know the guitar company. It's a smaller company.
Okay.
And
kind of boutique.
Because I know Church, our old guitar player, was endorsed by them for a while, and he had a couple of them. And I want to say the company is called Diamond, but now that I'm saying it out loud, that don't sound right. but it's something like that.
I have a video on my phone somewhere later on. I'll send it to both of y'all and let you see it.
check it out.
Yeah, it's
I know I have an Ibanez S series, and those are pretty thin.
Yeah, this is something like I'd never seen before. I was like, oh my god!
If it gets too thin, the neck kind of tilts you to the too heavy.
I had a guitar, and I don't know if you remember this company, but years ago in the 90s, there was a company called Vester that made guitars.
No, I don't recall that.
And yeah, they didn't really last long, but they made some amazing guitars. I had bought a guitar in the 90s, and I think the guitar I bought even in the 90s was, I think it was about $1,000. It was about $1,000 guitar.
Yeah, it's decent.
And that guitar was super thin. I mean, I'm trying to think of something to compare it to. I mean, it was thinner than my remote control to my TV.
Oh, damn.
I mean, it was like super, super thin, and it was so balanced and it was so light.
Yeah, as long
you
as it's
could
balanced.
you could literally hold it up
Yeah.
with like 3 fingers and balance it.
That's cool.
Like it, and it sounded great too. And for whatever reason, I sold that guitar years ago, and after I sold it, I was like, "Why did I do that? That was such a killer guitar."
Yeah.
And I'll never find it again. It's one of those I'll never find again.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Vesper.
It's called Vest. They were called Vester. Vester.
Vester.
Yeah, I'll be damned.
I might have to look for one of those.
So what's next up on the agenda for y'all besides
the
gathering?
There's not a lot I can say.
Yeah.
Because we're waiting to announce some stuff. However, I can say we have the gathering of the Juggalos this weekend. Then September 13th, our new album drops, which you can pre-order from our website. And you can actually pre-order on like Target.com. You can pre-order the CD and vinyl on there as well.
That's cool.
September 20th in Lakewood, Ohio, we are doing our CD release show. We do have 4 special guests that we have not, this is a surprise, but I'll say that they are pretty huge guests that are coming for that show for us. One is flying in. After that, we do have a couple tours. I just can't say when, where, who with, because
that's all part
agents and things, and they haven't sent us the final everything, and so they haven't announced yet. So
you just do what all the other bands say. We got some big things coming.
Yeah, I know.
Big things coming.
Yeah, well, I know a few people with big things coming. Yeah, but that's definitely.
And I'm wondering when we're going to announce these tours, because like one of them, I know I've seen the dates. I know they're coming, and they're coming up quick. So we really should have already announced it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hold off too long.
But unfortunately, it's not up to us. It's up to the promoters and agents. So we're waiting on the green light. So, but there is a couple of tours getting ready to be announced.
Yeah, because people buy tickets now like a year in advance sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
To shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that's I hate waiting to the last minute to announce, because especially the way the Facebook and all the social medias are, it really takes 3 months of promoting just to reach everybody.
Exactly.
If you wait weeks out, like a month after the fact, people will start seeing it and going, "Oh, how did I miss this?" Well, it's because Facebook won't let everybody see the post.
Yep.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, I wish I could make that up for the 20th, but I can't. I got to be here for, I think, the 26th. I got to be in Oklahoma.
Change your plans, man.
I got to go. Well, I got to go up to.
You're the boss, man. You can do it.
I'm gonna be at Louder Than Life. I don't know. I forgot what date that is. Like about the 29th or 30th of September. Then I'm gonna hightail it across the country to Oregon.
Put that private jet to work, man.
Yeah, it's private SUV, and then drive that down to California. Hopefully, we'll crisscross, no pun intended, the pass again this fall. Probably will. I think this
Yeah,
is.
we probably will. We probably will. I think some of these dates. I don't know how close we get to into the y'all's area, but I'm pretty sure we probably do.
Well, I'm doing.
So
Yeah, and I'm doing West Coast. Well, I'll be there in October, but I'll come back, and I'm sure the wife will demand that we go to y'all show. Yeah, we'll definitely make
hell
that.
yeah.
We'll give you a good COVID hug. But
Yeah, Doug likes doing that.
yeah, I do that to Rob. I do that.
Yeah.
Do that to my kids too, and all that kind of stuff.
I'm like, one day you're gonna get me, man. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be so
like,
pissed.
don't say that, man. But we want to encourage everyone to
I'm gonna go download all their stuff now.
go get
doing it.
a Killer's Confession. They're on every platform.
I'm not familiar with their music, but I will be.
Yeah, go get all their socials.
Yeah.
They're all out there, and also go out and it's the same thing with Cine Nerds. They're on every platform you could possibly imagine, and on YouTube.
Wow.
And
Yeah. We're on every podcast app. So I mean, you can get on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of them, and then the
Yeah.
video version is on YouTube.
Cool.
Anywhere you can find us, you can find them. And let me tell you, they've been doing this. I guess he said since what, November or December?
December 14th.
Yeah, they weren't out touring then. They had nothing better to do. But yeah, they they definitely do a great job, and they're very detailed on breaking down movies, as they've mentioned before on a couple other things about CGI and stuff in the early days, and
Definitely keeps you busy, that's for sure.
yeah, y'all do it.
Oh yeah.
Y'all do it. In fact, I have some that I listen to that with Chuck. He doesn't do it that much anymore. From Stuff You Should Know, he does. And Chuck's a great guy, but he doesn't do his as often at his side project. But the one that they do here, Cine Nerds, I love it. It's already my favorite movie podcast, man.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Well, and yeah, we've only actually ever brought in, other than Rick from the Whole Damn Enchilada did an episode with us. We've actually only had one guest on our show, which was William Butler, who's he's an actor, writer, director. That he was in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Friday 13th Part 6. He's in a number of things. But we want to start bringing more guests in, and we talked about it. But the thing is just it's so hard to even try to schedule somebody because we're always so busy on the road, and it's like we never know when we're going to just be accessible to have a more open schedule to even start bringing guests on.
I mean, you could try and schedule a guest, and then they could have a grandchild being born, and then you have to kind of wait for that.
Yeah.
Like some
It'd
people.
be
Yeah.
crazy fast.
Yes. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I just got back from North Carolina. I went down Friday, and then I came back yesterday, and she's a healthy baby. Mom's already home. She's getting around fine. She's walking around acting like she didn't even just have a baby. So
That's cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I tell my oldest now, I've been sending her, and Instagram knows they lock on to whatever you've been watching, and I've been apparently sharing because I share everything where kids do their parents. I'm like, all of this is going to come back. I remember my parents saying that, and it's true. I told Morgan, I said, you know what? I did not realize. I know that I have great parents, and man, I'm so thankful. But by the time I think somewhere between when my kids were like 5 and 9 or so, I realized how much even better my parents were than I realized. Like, Jesus Christ, how did they do all this? But it's a job. But I can't wait the grandparent role will be fun and good to spoil. With no real responsibility.
Yeah. You ship them off.
No day-to-day responsibility. But
yeah.
JP,
Well, and technically, this is my second grandchild.
I heard about that.
And yeah, but my first one had passed away at 4 months. But yeah, she had like something. She had like something that wasn't developed in her heart, and they didn't. The doctors didn't catch it. And so she passed away.
That sucks.
But so technically, this is actually my second grandchild. But
I knew that, but I wasn't going to bring it up. See, and I was like just
Yeah.
praying. I was praying that Rob wouldn't bring it up. I was like, please, God, please.
oh, it's okay. You know,
That's why when I was when I was dying in the hospital, I was like, I've had a pretty good life. There's kids that don't make it, man. You see all these kids with cancer and stuff.
Yeah,
It puts
that's
it into perspective,
Yeah, and like I said, man, enjoy it. Look, I mean, hey, you got the ball again. Think God makes, in my belief, that God makes things happen for a reason, and
yeah.
we'll get there, man. But
Yeah.
I'll be looking for all the grandparent tips from you, man. He's
I
like,
don't know if you'll get them from me.
he's about what 12 years younger than me at least,
Oh, wow.
and no, he's got me beat.
Well,
Man.
it's funny because we was on tour when we was on the El Nino tour. We were talking one night at Dave Shivari and his wife, and Julie said something about me being a grandpa, and so Shivari's wife looked at me and said, "You? There's no way you're a grandfather." And I have my beard right now, which is all solid gray, so I look my age. But
Yeah.
when I keep my face shaved and whatnot, I don't look entirely my age.
No,
Yeah.
you did not
And-
look at it all that night when I saw you, with the exception
Yeah.
of the pain grimaces. That besides that,
Yeah. And she looked at me and said, "There's no way you're old enough to have a grandchild." I was like, "I'm old enough to have a 23-year-old and a 20-year-old." So yeah.
yeah,
And,
Definitely.
that does happen, man. That comes around. Mine made me wait a little bit, so they got my 33-year-old this year. Well, she's 32 right now. Yeah, she's the one that's
yeah.
making me the grandparent. But always, for years, I just said, well, I'm not old enough, so.
Yeah. Well, that's when my daughter called me when she got pregnant the first time. She called me and says, "Hey, she texted me and said, 'Hey, I need to talk to you. Is it okay if I call?' And I was like, 'Yeah.' So she calls me and she goes, 'Well, I got something to tell you. I'm pregnant.' And which I couldn't be mad because she's married and she's got a good husband. They're young, but she's got a good husband and good guy. So it's not like she just randomly got pregnant. She
Yeah.
knew what she was doing. So the first thing I said to her was, I'm way too young to be a grandparent.
Yeah.
See, that's right. That's right. If you start making it call you uncle or something like that. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, no, I've totally embraced it. I'm going grandpa. My dad's Paw, so I just want to be grandpa. That's it.
Yeah.
But JP, it was great talking to you today, man.
Oh yeah, you guys too.
And like I said, please go out there, people, and Killer's Confession. You'll love the music, and Sin and Nerds, you will love what they do on the podcast film. And as always, because we're trying to teach people, these podcasts are free. It's free entertainment. Go out and enjoy it. And you might end up doing like I did. I got YouTube Premium. I ended up doing it, and I'm so glad I did now. But I couldn't cross that line forever, but I did do it now. So I get to enjoy it commercial free now, and I get to put stuff in my queue, so that's even better. But go out and join. And JP, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you guys.
And we'll
thank you guys.
We'll keep up with you. And guys, this has been the Nonsense Chronicles. Please like and subscribe.
Later.